We talked about role models and being a role model for your student. He said it starts with you. I think that's true. But I think you have a big kind of advantage over me. All of you are learning English too. So if your students look at you and they see you and they think, wow, she did it. She went from me to learning good English. So now I think I can do it too. If your students look at you and they listen and they say, wow, she speaks English, maybe I can learn to speak English too. This is an advantage that you have as Thai speakers over me, I think. It's good for you because your students can look up to you and see you as a role model, like an example for them. That's an important thing, I think, for you to remember. So don't always focus on the native speaker. We need to have a native speaker. You don't need to have a native speaker. You have you. And you are a good role model for your students if you have the confidence and the competence to do the pronunciation work. And that's what I'm trying to do with you today. What do you think are the most effective ways to teach pronunciation, and what can you do in your classes? And we had good answers. You put the answers over there. I took a picture of that. I put the answers up here. I just want to talk about that for a second. So one of the ideas is comparing Thai and English. We did that yesterday, compare Thai and English. Show the mouth. Show pictures of the mouth. We did that yesterday. Show some videos. Videos are really good. If you have computer in your class, the videos are very good. Demonstrate. Show your lips, show your teeth, show your tongue. Practice, and practice, and practice, and practice, and practice. Practice is important. Talk about the tones of Thai, and the difficulty in English. Use CDs, of course. If you have music, CDs, audio, natural native speaker, that's good. Imitation, copy native speaker pronunciation, good idea. Early phonetics. Teach children phonetics in kindergarten. A good idea. I like that. Practice, and then feedback. This is really good. So students talk first, you listen, and then you correct and give feedback. Listening practice. Students need to do listening practice. Don't push them too hard. Don't make them nervous. Don't cause a lot of stress in the class. List the sound problems, different sound problems. Groups. Work together in groups. Groups are good. Also, one by one, one-on-one with the teacher, student, also important. Again, CDs, native speakers, recording. We did that today. Record your voice. Record your students. Use websites. There's a lot of websites that let you record your voice and compare to native speaker. Websites for how to. There's a lot of websites that show pictures of the mouth, pictures of the face. Games and activities, especially for young children. Young children can't do anything for more than 5 minutes. So you need a lot of activities for young children. Tell me more website, word cards, dictation activities, peer help. Students helping students. Fairy tales. Use the dictionary. Dictionary is a great idea. If your students have phonetic knowledge, they have to learn some phonetics to use the dictionary. Okay, so there's lots of good ideas here. Some of them came from me and some of them came from you, and that's good. That's great, I think. All right. I want to do FAQ activity. FAQ, you know what FAQ means, right? Frequently asked questions. So it's important that you do the FAQ activity without this thing. So the answers are in here. So keep this closed. Okay? If you read all of this last night as homework, that's good, but keep it closed today. I have the FAQs right here. So in your group, I'm going to give you one. And your group is going to have, like before, 5 to 7 minutes to talk about this, and then you can share your ideas with the class. So let me show you the FAQs first. All right, so number 1, which is here, what is the goal of pronunciation? Like, why is it important? What's the goal of pronunciation instruction? 2, what are the benefits of pronunciation instruction? What do your students get from pronunciation instruction? And number 3, people ask me this: is it good to do pronunciation in class? My class is only 45 minutes. I have very little time. Should I do pronunciation work? Is it good use of class time? Number 4, and this is important, how can our students learn correct pronunciation without a native speaker? Okay, that's an important question. Number 5, our students need to take exams and they have to pass tests. So we need to focus on grammar and help them pass tests. True or false? Okay. Number 6, Thai is really different from English. So isn't pronunciation kind of too hard for Thai students? Maybe we shouldn't focus on pronunciation. So there's 6 questions here. I'm going to give 1 question to each group, and you're going to have 5, 6, 7 minutes to think of a good answer, and then you're going to share your answer with the class, okay? All right, so here is a question for you. Here is a question for your table. Here's a question for your table. There we go. Okay, good. I'm getting confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There you go. The main benefits. All right, you got about 5 to 7 minutes. You're supposed to do this without this piece of paper, without using this. Keep this thing closed, okay? Don't use this. You're cheating, cheating, cheating. I want your idea, not my idea. Your idea. Okay, tell me. Tell me. What? Okay, good.
Okay.
What? I just want to know. No. That just tell me. Yes.
So we say that to help the student to pronounce correctly for effective
Communication. Okay.
focus on
Communication ability. Yeah. Effective communication. Okay, good. Yeah, that's what we want. I agree. That's my goal. Okay, you have about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Good. Okay, about 1 more minute, so get ready to share. Okay. We're going to start with question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is my microphone? Okay, we got the microphone back here. Good. All right, so we need to listen carefully to group number 1. The first question, what's the goal of pronunciation? So, think. What's the goal of pronunciation? Okay, what do you think the goal of pronunciation is? And listen to first group share their answers, okay? Please.
So for question number 1, our answer is to pronounce correctly and communicate effectively. That's the goal of pronunciation.
Pronounce correctly
Right.
and
For
communicate effectively. Okay. Anyone want to add anything else? The goal of pronunciation work? Okay. Pass the mic to number 2. What are the main benefits? All right.
The main benefit of pronunciation instruction is to student can listen and speaking correctly.
Good.
And then student can understand what they listen, then they can respond correctly.
Okay.
And to increase the confidence of the student when they communicate with other foreigner.
Okay. So
That's it.
increase correct pronunciation, good listening, and build confidence. Confidence? Okay, good. Number 3, is it a good use of class time? Where's that? Number 3. Okay, so we need the microphone up here. I think it's up here.
Number 3, it is a valuable use of class time. Yes, it is value.
Good.
Although a short time, but we will be used practice every day. It was college skill for students, such as the activity, role play, dialogue, dictation, vocab.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. So the answer is yes, it's a good use of class time. Good. That was an easy question. All right. Number 4, how can students learn correct pronunciation without native speakers? I think that's here in the front. Okay, so listen, please.
Okay, they should be confident by themselves.
Good.
They can learn by yourself. They have to learn pronunciation from video,
Okay.
website, or interacting resource. Okay, in another place, then they have to change their mind
Okay,
into
good.
believe
Good.
in themselves.
Good.
They have to start from making their confidence before and practice. When you learn by themselves, finish. Okay, practice.
I need all of you to try to listen to what she's saying. It's important what she's sharing, so try to listen, okay? Yeah, continue.
They must practice all the time. Okay, after that, they can teach our students in group or
Or pair,
one by one.
yes.
Okay, in their confidence.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Good, very good. So, improving self-confidence. This is really important. Improving their own self-confidence. Okay, number 5, our students have to take exams and they have to pass tests. Shouldn't we mostly focus on grammar? Okay, good. I like grammar.
It's false because the goal of the learning English is the communication with English speakers. So the student needs to learn English pronunciation in the answer speak with answer correctly. Grammar is mainly focused on the reading and writing, but the student also needs speaking and listening skill in the combination with answer, especially in their daily life.
Good. Thank you. Okay, and number 6, Thai is really different from English, so isn't pronunciation too hard for Thai students?
True. We do agree with this sentence because we have to study pronunciation in order to pronounce correctly.
Right.
If we pronounce incorrectly, maybe in some situation we may misunderstand something.
You may misunderstand, or other people may misunderstand you. Yes, good. Okay, good. All right, thank you very much. Good job. Okay, let me now, why don't you open up your packets now to handout number 10. Number 10, and I'll talk about each question a little bit. All right, so if you look at number 1, what's the goal of pronunciation instruction? There's one thing I want you to remember. We are not trying to erase a student's accent. I don't want their Thai accent to be all gone. That's not the goal. It's not going to happen, and that's not your goal. That's not what you want. What you want is to increase their communication ability, their communicative ability. That's all. You don't need their Thai accent to go away. You just want them to improve their ability to understand and be understood by other people. Okay? We're not trying to erase their Thai accent. That's not what you want to do. Be happy you have a Thai accent. That's okay. You're from Thailand, of course. Don't worry about that, and don't worry about it with your students either. Number 2, what are the benefits? Communicative ability. It helps students with their ability to communicate. That's what we want. It makes them easier to understand, and it builds up their confidence. Okay? Okay, number 3 is it a valuable use of class time? I think yes. Speaking practice and dialogues and role plays are very good. We need to do that, but pronunciation needs to be addressed together with these things. All right, let's look at the next one. How can students learn correct pronunciation without a native speaker teacher? I think this is the biggest and most important issue, especially in Thailand and in Asia. So, look at what I wrote. What does correct mean? What is correct pronunciation? Whose pronunciation is correct? Is mine correct because I'm from America? Is his correct because he's from Canada? Or his is from Australia? Who has correct pronunciation? If I understand her, she has correct pronunciation. All you want is pronunciation that people can understand. You don't need American pronunciation. You don't need British pronunciation. You need English that other people can understand. That's all you need to have. And I think this is important too. In the future, our students and you will more likely be speaking with English with people from you're going to talk to people from China. And they're going to speak English with you because that's the language that you share. Okay? That's really common. That's happening all over Asia. If you have a Japanese businessman and a Thai businessman meeting together, they're going to speak English together. Thai English and Japanese English. And it's going to meet in the middle, and you're going to communicate in English. Nobody is a native speaker. That's okay. That doesn't matter. You want to communicate. You don't need my English. You don't need native speaker English. In the future, you need to be able to communicate. We want comprehensible English, not native speaker English. So, you need to help your students and tell them, look, native speaker is not important. You want to be able to understand English. We don't need native speakers. And I think this is a big problem. I worked in Japan, I worked in China, all over Asia. We must have native speaker teachers. We must have native speaker teachers. There's a lot of schools, universities, schools, and they will only give a job to a person who's a native speaker of English. If you're not a native speaker, you can't teach at our school. I don't think that's a very good policy for a school. I think that's sad. It's very common in Asia and Japan and China and Thailand too, but I don't think it's good. Grammar is important. I know it is, because they have to pass tests to go to university. Thai is really different from English, so is it too hard? Well, yes, it is very hard, but I think all languages are very different from English. All languages are very different in their own way, but that's not a reason why we should say, no, Thai people can't do it. That's not true. Chinese people can do it. Japanese people can do it. Thai people can do it. Everyone can do it. All languages are different from English. Everyone can learn English. Yes, it's hard for Thai people, but it's also hard for Chinese people and people from Mexico and people from Europe. It's hard for all people, I think. Okay, questions? Problems? All right. And I have about 30 minutes before lunch, and I want to talk to you about explicit and integrated instruction. So this is how to teach English pronunciation. So just take a minute or 2 minutes, talk to your friend, the person who's next to you. What does explicit mean? What does integrated mean? Okay? Discuss with your friend. Okay, quickly over here. I put the two words on the board, explicit and integrated. Two ways to teach pronunciation. Explicit and integrated. So explicit, I wrote here, it's a whole lesson around pronunciation. So if you're doing explicit pronunciation, it means you come into class and you say, good morning, class. Today, no books, no, put it all away. Today we're going to talk about F and V. And you spend 45 minutes, all class, talking about F and V. And that's good. Sometimes you should do that. That's called explicit pronunciation. The whole lesson is about pronunciation. Maybe the whole class is about ED. The whole class is about S, final S. That's explicit pronunciation. And it's important. You need to do it sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes you need to do it. Different from that is integrated pronunciation instruction. That's when you do some pronunciation practice inside of another activity. For example, a dialogue. Your students have their books are open, there's a dialogue, they practice the dialogue, and then you say, okay, everybody, stop. I hear a little problem with your final S. So you spend 5 minutes talking about final S, and you say, okay, continue the dialogue. That's pronunciation inside another activity. You should do this all the time. You should do that every day, all the time, often. This you need to do occasionally, not always. But they're both important. Your students need both of these things, I think. Okay? So in your paper, in your handout, I have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 for explicit and for integrated. So how to do it and how to do it. So I would like you just take maybe 5 minutes and read handout number 11, which is explicit. So just read through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Okay, take about 5 minutes and read. Okay, you should be almost finished with the reading. So let me talk just a little about explicit instruction. What do you need to do first? Step 1, identify the sound. What's the problem? F and V, S and Z. What is difficult for your students? Choose the problem. Okay, step number 2. You have to teach your students how to do it. You've got to show them how to move their tongue or their lips or their teeth. You have to show them. Show them your face, or show them a picture, or show them a video. Show them something where to put their lips, their tongue, because they don't know how to do it. You have to show them. And you have to show them first, before they can practice. Okay, and then step 3. They have to practice the sounds, but only the sounds, not words, just sounds. So they need to say, f, f, v, 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 v. Practice the sounds for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for a long time. They need to practice the sounds. And then, after they practice the sounds, you give them the minimal pairs. Words, fat, vat, very, very. You give them a list of words to practice. So first, sounds, then words, then context, sentences. He was very fat and very funny. Your students need to practice them in context. And then listening, dictation. This is hard for your students, but it's important. Read the words from the minimal pairs and have students write them out. This will tell you if your students understand or they don't understand. And I've done this many times with my classes in Thailand, and I learned, well, it's really hard for my students. They can't hear the difference. So we have to practice again and again and again. But don't forget the listening. The students need the listening too. It's important. Okay, and then repeat. Do it again. Do it again, then do it again, then do it again. Repeat, 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 repeat. Okay, all of these steps, step 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, this should all be very familiar to you because we did all of this yesterday, right? This is exactly what I did with you yesterday when we practiced. I practiced the sounds, and then minimal pairs, and then sentences, and dialogues. We did dictation yesterday. I did all of this with you yesterday to show you how to do it with your students. So next week, when we start class, or the week after, do the same thing with your students, just like I did yesterday with you. Okay? All right. That is explicit pronunciation. Okay. Questions about that? That's a whole lesson about pronunciation. Might be 45 minutes right there. All right, then let's go on and finish by talking about integrated. What does the word integrated mean? We talked about that right there. How do you do it? So integrated is page handout number 12. Okay, so just like before, take maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and read integrated pronunciation instruction, okay?